WrestleManiacs, Maniacs. This is the podcast. It's called WrestleManiacs. Adam, Donna, Indian Josh. Then now together forever and son. WrestleManiacs. This is the podcast. It's called WrestleManiacs. WWE, AEW, TNA, JPW. WrestleManiacs.
What's going on, fellow A-Plusers? It's your host, as always, Adam Perez, back once again with a brand new episode of WrestleManiacs podcast, baby. That's right. Night one of WrestleMania is certainly in the books. We had some history made, some title changes, and it looks like Bloodline rules for night two. Let's go ahead and get into our review of night one. What's up, y'all? Oh, sorry. Go.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
No, you're good. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another WrestleManiacs podcast. We had a crazy night one of WrestleMania night one. I'm doing another simulcast here between Rangers of Wrestling and A-Plus Hero Report. But we got ourselves a great review to get into. So, Datila, take it away.
Hey, Adam. Yeah, thank you for letting me kick things off. We had such a show tonight. I feel like this WrestleMania had so much hype around it. But the question is, did it live up to the hype, or did it fall flat? Let's kick things off talking about this main event. It was the biggest tag team match in WWE. It was The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins. This had some stiff stakes, some really high stakes. If Cody and Seth won, it would be Roman versus Cody one-on-one. If Roman and The Rock won, it would be Bloodline's rules match. Now, I have to say, like, this match, I felt took too long. It was like 20 minutes entrance. It was really slow at some points. I do appreciate that The Rock could still go for his age. You could tell he's obviously be training. Couple of things here. Like, I thought it was interesting that The Rock pinned Cody Rhodes. I mean, obviously, it was no surprise the Bloodline was going to win here. But the fact that The Rock pinned Cody, I think that kind of signals what's to come down the road, especially now that he's got that People's Champion type belt with him. But let's start with you, Josh. What did you think of this match?
I mean, I'd say the same sentiment. It took too long. It was, took forever. And I mean, really, while I did like the idea that The Rock is kind of the boss, right? So he could tell, Chad Patton, hey, look, don't count us out or you're fired or you're effing fired, pretty much. Don't F with me, right? Again, I mean, look, I had a bag of popcorn, and by the time the entrance and the stare down was done, I was done with my popcorn. And I'm like, well, now I can enjoy the movie. Now it's over. So overall, it was okay. I mean, look, whether or not I could say this, I may be wrong in saying this, but to me, The Rock having the People's Championship, that was like the most mental type of master, what I've ever seen. It's like, look, I get it. You both have to have titles, but it kind of reminds me of having two kids, right? So one has to have a toy, the other one has to have the same exact or somewhat different toy. So, I mean, no surprise the Bloodline won, but to me, I don't know. It just, to me, felt like it was a movie, almost too rehearsed.
Yeah, I personally, I enjoyed the match. I would agree. I think the entrances took way too long, man. I think I messaged you guys. I was like, man, I'm like 15, 20 minutes into this, and they're still walking out. I will say The Rock had an incredible entrance, though. I was, as much as I'm rooting for Cody and them, I gotta say I absolutely love The Rock's entrance in here. But the People's Championship title does rub me the wrong way a little bit. It does feel very much like an ego boost for The Rock here. I am kind of curious as to whose idea that certainly was. At the same time, it's almost like because the people are so behind Cody, it's almost like the championship is just a pat on the back for The Rock for like reassurance that like, no, I'm the people's champion, so there is some concern that I have like for when it comes to night two, now that it is in fact bloodline rules, like, is this like an excuse for Cody to get pinned only for them to him and like win the people's championship down the road? And I really hope that that's not certainly the case, but it feels like, if The Rock is going to use his sway and his power like that to create a belt, I'm just like, please don't screw this man over tomorrow night. That's all I can ask for. But for me, while it did go long, The Rock certainly held his own in the ring. It was really great to certainly see him back. I loved him chomping at the bit with Mama Rhodes. I thought they had some really great spots in here too. Some great sort of like 2.5 count, finishes here, which are pretty cool. I love the rock bottom through the table by Cody Rhodes, followed by the spear through the barricade. So I thought they had some pretty good spots in here. The double pedigree I thought was pretty dope also. So I had fun with it. I've definitely booked long, but I don't mind based off of just how they've been building up this feud between everybody. The Rock pinning Cody seems natural in here. The spear from Roman to The Rock was a huge surprise also. So I thought they had some really great moments to pull you in and really get the crowd kind of pop. So I had a good time with this match.
I've got to add one thing. No, I got to give kudos that we did not see any of the rest of the Bloodline show up. I didn't expect to. We didn't see Solo or nothing. So I was like, okay, they at least kept it between the four. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
What's up, Michael? He said I had a lot of fun being there live. Badass, man. I'm glad you guys. I don't know what your seats were like. I'm kind of curious how much your seats cost. And I want to know if you were going to be at night 2 also. But that's pretty dope. I hope you had a good time, man.
I do agree with this. This match was more storyline driven. There were some cool spots like the rock bottom through the announce table, the stereo pedigrees that Cody and Rollins did to the Rock and Roman, and that accidental spear. I think that's going to play a factor into what happens tomorrow for sure. And Mama Rhodes being there and the Rock yelling at her, oh, she's definitely slapping him tomorrow.
Yeah, she totally is, man. I can't wait for that moment when it happens. And I somebody said in the comment section here is like, I feel like what we saw in the main event tonight, they should have saved the chaos for Sunday night. I think it's going to be crazier. Like, if you thought that this was maybe overbooked or like the false finishes and stuff, the fact that we didn't have anybody else from the Bloodline come out for this match, with the exception of what you said, Josh, the idea that the referee didn't want to call a DQ because it's The Rock, right? He's just his boss. I thought that was a little like, really, guys, really? But yeah, I think Sunday night's going to be even more bananas.
Well, The Rock yelled at the ref. He said, don't you dare count, or we're going to fire you. I don't fuck around.
Yeah, no, he doesn't need to fuck around. He don't want to get hit with a belt like the referee did last week. So, yeah, I totally feel you there.
That belt was the belt, that People's Champion belt was actually given to The Rock by Muhammad Ali's widow at the Hall of Fame.
So awkward. I watched the Hall of Fame. It was so awkward.
Did it? I mean, like, what was the... Did she get? She at least explained why they decided to make a belt for him.
So basically, watching the Hall of Fame, she comes out and does the Undertaker actually introduces her, right? Which I was really surprised by that. She comes out, talks about how Ali was a fighter, how Ali was this and that, and she said, there's a young guy in 1998 that took the moniker of the People's Champion and respected Muhammad Ali so much. And Rock, will you come out? So instead of coming out music wise, he just comes to the crowd. Everybody's kind of like, what's going on? Then he takes the belt and it almost becomes about The Rock, really, because he grabs it and basically tells the fan, shut your mouth while I'm talking, essentially. It just was so bizarre. It literally became about The Rock, like, I love Muhammad Ali. I mean, he tried to be as gracious as it could be, but the way it came across, it was like, okay, Muhammad Ali's done. You're done talking to Widow. Now it's my time. And he basically ended it and they walked off and then he came back out later. It was just... There was no reason for it. To me, it was literally a prop for WrestleMania because he's already had his own Rock Championship, right? Yeah, so why make a People's Championship thing? So I don't know. It was... If I can tell you who came up with the idea, it'd be himself.
That's why I say it feels like it's just a pat on the back sort of thing, like an ego boost.
He saved WrestleMania. Don't forget, guys.
Josh is a little sour about this, clearly.
Oh, yeah, he is. I mean, he's not even on the board right now.
It's just, I don't know. I mean, if you watch it back, you'll kind of see it just seemed disrespectful to Muhammad Ali because it became about what The Rock was doing versus Muhammad Ali's great contributions.
And I do want to add, too, on this match, man, Seth Rollins took some punishment in this match. I think this is going to have a really big effect when it comes to night 2. And if anything, I still think Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre kick off night 1, but I could be wrong. But we'll see. What do you think, Don Ceylon?
Where was Damian Priest throughout all this? That's what I was thinking.
Well, yeah, I guess your cash and your extra point kind of. Well, no, it's still available for tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still available for tomorrow.
But this probably would have been the best night for him to cash in if he wanted to.
Yeah.
No, cash in on Sami Zayn. Remember, he wants that IC title, guys. That's what he needs.
That's
So,
a
yeah.
badass image.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, we'll see how that that spear to the Rock, like you said, Dantula, might affect night 2.
All right. So tonight actually felt like tonight took forever to open. Like they had like a new intro, which I thought was cool, but it took
I missed that.
forever. I mean, Triple H went out there and he said it's a new era, which this is the first WrestleMania without Vince, without a McMahon. So it they wanted to go out there with the bang, but I just feel like it just took forever to get to the point. It was like it was commercial and all. Oh, it's just like this is taking way too long to open. Those poor people in attendance.
Sponsor Mania. That's what it was. Sponsor Mania.
It really was.
Because, really, after that main event, I was like, you know what? I really need to go to that American Home Shield and get my home cup. That really convinced me.
Yeah, I was like, man, I'm craving some Wingstop here tonight.
Yeah, I don't even want to go into that commercial that you see now because I was like, no, okay. We can talk about that when we get to the match, I guess.
All right, so it's WrestleMania Night 1 kicked off with the WWE Women's World Championship match. It was Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley. This match, I felt like Becky was going to put Rhea over. I think she had to put Rhea over because realistically, I felt like Becky really didn't need the belt. Her opening, like her entrance, you know how like for WrestleMania people like to make unique entrances, was basically like her autobiography. It was like a paragraph in her in her book.
Mm-hmm.
So and I gotta give her mad props. Apparently on commentary they said she had strep throat, so she wrestled with strep throat tonight, which they kept talking about how she had like a fever, I think last week. So mad props for Becky. That this was a good match, good way to start. And as always, mommy's on top. So Adam, what did you think of this match?
Yeah, you're absolutely right about Becky Lynch's entrance. Rhea Ripley had an amazing entrance to start off WrestleMania. I'm a big fan of sometimes it can be hit or miss for me with like when you get a live band to perform the person's song, but this one just hit different. And I love the energy that it gave Rhea when she was coming down to the ring. This was a fun one for me, for sure. I had a really good time with this particular match. Some really great some fake finishes here. I love that she hits her slam and then Becky kicks out the first time around and then having to dish it out not only onto the turnbuckle but then once again to go ahead and certainly finish her off. But yeah, kudos to Becky for pushing through for the strep throat, man, because I'm sure with her having a fever, I'm sure she was probably all messed up, man. But I thought they had a great match in here. Definitely WrestleMania worthy.
I don't know. I'm a little contrarian, I guess, but I kind of felt like it was like China versus Ivory from like WrestleMania 17. Like, did I think Becky was going to win? I mean, even my prediction said I thought so, but when I saw the entrance of Rhea, I'm like, I knew it was over from that point because, having a storybook entrance from reading her own biography versus that, I don't know. It was okay, but I kind of worried about Rhea when they did the top rope arm drag because she really kind of came down pretty hard. I thought, oh no, is she injured at that point? So they really made me worry about that. But overall, it was a great match, but I can't say I ever felt after that entrance that Becky was going to win it all. Because when you have a badass entrance like that, like Rhea, you're not going to put anybody over. It's already over at that point.
What'd you think, Dantula?
I liked Rhea's entrance. I thought it was unique. Is that the actual band that sings her theme song?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe it is. Yeah.
Corey Graves says it's her favorite band, I think, on commentaries. I think that is them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was a badass entrance, but come on. I knew Rhea was going to win. Mommy's always on top.
She absolutely is. Were there any other spots that we missed in this match? Any other spots?
The finish, just a riptide to Becky on the turnbuckle, and then on in the middle of the ring.
The crowd was pretty hot for this one.
Yeah.
Oh, they loved it. I mean, I will say Becky's unique attire, I guess, of basically wearing whatever was in her book was pretty interesting.
I thought it was cool. She had like around her torso
midsection.
and then her midsection, then her like on her knee pads, I believe, also like quotes from her book. I thought it was a pretty dope outfit.
Very much so.
All right. Next, we have the six-pack ladder match for the Undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. It was Awesome Truth versus The New Day versus DIY versus New Catch Republic versus the A-Town Down Under versus the Judgment Day. Now, this match, we had two winners. This match would not stop until both belts had been grabbed. I have to say, like, DIY going out there dressed as DX was hilarious. Johnny Gargano with the cowboy hat. Xavier Woods paying homage to his TNA Consequences.
Yes.
Yes. Tremendous.
I really like the fact that everybody kind of went after Judgment Day here afterwards. That double moonsault from the top of the ladder that the New Catch Republic did was pretty cool.
Amazing.
I loved R-Truth. R-Truth was so much fun in this match with him trying to tag the Miz in and then paying homage to his childhood hero John Cena and stuff like that. But Josh, what did you think of this match?
Oh, I loved it. And you know what? I loved because I called it. I called it on the predictions. He was going to take a pin in the middle of the match. I thought, you know what? That's perfect.
You did.
I was so proud. I was like, yes, I knew it. This was a great match. I found myself saying, holy, you know what? Multiple times during the match. I mean, with Grayson Waller being suplexed through the ladder, which I felt bad for him because you could tell it was wooden when they had that kind of real pinkish wood, but it's okay. And then having, I don't know, man, some of those spots it made me nervous on some of them because I was like, ooh, that's pretty harsh. So yeah, it was great. I mean, I loved the match. Really, I thought it was a really good match. I can't say it was match of the night, but it was pretty close, at least for me.
Yeah, it was a pretty close match of the night for me. It definitely was up there as one of the best matches that we had that night. I definitely agreed with the crowd. Some holy-ish moments for sure. Finn Balor definitely took some crazy bumps. He took quite a few bumps actually on the ladder in here. But I agree with you, Datila. That double moonsault was just perfection, man. They got some really gorgeous shots of it and everything on replay. I was absolutely eating it up, honestly. But Josh, not only did you predict the R-Truth going for the pin, but you picked both teams, didn't you? Because you picked Grayson also.
He did. He picked A-Town Down Under and Awesome Truth, which both of these teams were the victors here.
Yeah, I when you said that last night, I was thinking to myself like, damn, I should probably change my pick to that, and I didn't, unfortunately. But we had them both as champions, and the crowd was eating it up. Everybody wanted R-Truth to certainly win this match, and I guess like even my girlfriend was cheering him on, and I don't want to say that surprised me, but like, we both love R-Truth in the household sort of thing. And so I think for me, just seeing him not only get the victory kind of got me just like really emotional and just happy for the dude. But then, I do love the moment that he has here with the Miz. Like the Miz is talking to him, and you can really tell that that R-Truth, like it was really sinking in for him. And so I just thought it was a really great moment for him, honestly, at WrestleMania.
This is his first WrestleMania moment.
Yeah. That's unbelievable, man. That's unbelievable. Yeah. What a career.
He deserved it. Honestly, it was a job well done. He killed it. This is his reward. You know why? Because he's so incredible in everything he does. He never complains or anything like that. And so like he's just been such an amazing character. And it baffles me that he's been in the WWE. I don't know how long he's been in the WWE, but he's never had a WrestleMania moment, and he certainly deserved it here. Really happy for R-Truth.
He was probably in WWE back in 2000. I remember him being K-Quick and then came back as R-Truth whenever. But once he lost his mind and the character lost his mind, like with Cena way back when, been amazing ever since then.
I saw I don't know, remember if it was on Twitter or on Facebook. I guess they did a small documentary or somebody sat down and interviewed him, and they were talking to him about his time in NWA TNA, like when it first kicked off, might have been back in 2001, 2002, maybe. 2002. And he won the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. And I remember watching that when they aired it, and I forgot all about it, man. And I'm so glad that I got the chance to see that highlight before watching WrestleMania again, because it's a great moment, just a great arc to his career.
Does your back hurt now, realizing that's 20-something years ago?
God, you have no idea, man. You have no idea.
My back was hurting this morning, so I went to the chiropractor and I got cracked. So I'm good now. I'm good for it next week.
All the way to the world on your shoulders, I'm telling you.
But no, this is a really great match, man. If not match of the night, definitely probably second best match of the night.
I'm so excited. What I've been advocating for finally happened. We finally split the tag belts. Now, if only we could get new tag titles, I'd be such a happy camper.
Oh, please. please. Yes.
Yeah, new tag titles will be perfection, honestly. And I have a feeling that Grayson and Austin Theory's like first feud is probably going to be with New Catch Republic, just because I think it's them that put Grayson through the table at the end.
Yeah,
sort of thing.
it was.
So, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was. New Catch Republic tossed Waller into the ladder too.
Yeah,
Brutal.
that was brutal.
As he
It
won
was
the
pretty
tag
brutal.
title, holding the tag title, just really sitting there dying. I'm like, oh, this is so great.
At least
Great
he
dude.
had the title though.
Yeah.
This is true. Yeah, loved it.
All right. Next, we get Rey Mysterio and Andrade versus Dirty Dominic Mysterio and Santos Escobar. Let me start off by saying I had a tear in my eye because so much Latino talent was represented here. You know, and it certainly has a reputation for not showcasing or knowing how to showcase their Latino talent. So this really warmed my heart, especially if somebody of Mexican descent. They had so many like Latino wrestlers in here, so it warmed my heart. I was really happy about this. My one issue with this, actually, no, I had two issues with this match. Number one, I felt like if you're gonna have the factions at ringside, this should have been a factions match. I don't understand why this was a tag team match. It should have been the LWO versus Legado del Fantasma. I was also not a fan of the finish here. You had those two Eagles guys wearing the mask come in and help Rey Mysterio and Andrade. I was not a huge fan of that, but I get it. It's WrestleMania. They're in Philadelphia. They wanted to do something. But, you know, Andrade and Rey Mysterio did pick up the win here, which you called, Adam. You said you were picking for the LWO.
Viva la raza.
Viva la raza. It would have been Viva la raza whether they won or not, you know? But, I don't know. I felt like there was so much potential for this match. And I didn't like the finish. I didn't like the interference of those two guys.
Yeah.
I was hoping Carlito would turn, and he didn't. So, you know. But what did you think of this, Adam?
I agree with you. I thought this match has some great momentum going for it, you know. And then all of a sudden, the two luchadors coming at the end. I'm like, who the F is this? And at first, it eventually clicked with me. I was like, that's Jason Kelsey under one of those. I just know it. And I thought it was going to be his brother Travis also. Like, oh, how fitting for a WrestleMania. But it's the two guys from Philadelphia Eagles. But it just didn't feel it was like in the wrong place, you know. Like if they were going to show up, give them a chance to be sitting in the crowd, camera on them, you know, in between matches or something, or interfere in something else in this event, but not this match. It just felt so left field, honestly, and took out a lot of the momentum, and I think maybe even ruined some of it for the crowd too. Like it's Philadelphia Eagles. I know the crowd's going to be happy to see them there, but it definitely fell flat for me as far as the finish goes. And I would agree with you, Dots. I thought there was going to be more of a storyline that transpired here with Carlito, but especially after everything that happened and Ray continuing to choose other people over him, I thought for sure we were going to get some sort of turn here, but it didn't happen. So overall, the match was pretty good for what it was, but the finish really ruined it for me too. So I agree with you, Dante.
I will say, Josh, before you go, I will say if this does lead to faction versus faction at, let's say, Backlash, I can definitely see Carlito turning then.
Yeah, Backlash. I think that'd be pretty fitting.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on this match, Josh?
Hated the finish completely because I remember telling my wife, I'm like, I don't know who the hell those two people are. I was thinking, okay, maybe it's this. And you know, the bad thing is, look, we all know that, you know, they're luchadors, right? It's lucha libre, but those two giant guys in there versus all the other people, I'm like, you're making them look so small by comparison. Like, you know, having Braun Strowman come out, great, fine, but there was no reason for it. I don't follow football. I mean, immediately I don't. So I was like, who is that? Who are those people? Oh, they're Philadelphia Eagle people. That's cool. But two things I had gripes about, I guess, you know. One is the finish, right? Although I will take a shout out. I don't know if anybody else watched the pre-show, but they had like different interviews with different people. And JBL was probably the jewel of the entire thing because they asked him, what's the favorite match you're going to watch tonight? I can't wait to see Rey Mysterio because you're thinking he's going to put him over, right? And he's like, you know, that deadbeat bastard. He's like, I can't wait because poor Dominic has gone to prison. He's gone through so much, and he's got to take because remember JBL was retired by Rey Mysterio. So
I remember. I was just about to say that.
It was wonderful. Oh, I mean, just made my night. But no, I didn't like that. And again, just to me, and I know this makes no difference, but to me, it just does. Why are we having Minute Maid Aqua Fresca be the sponsor? Like, it doesn't really matter, but it does because it's like you're making it obvious at this point.
My girlfriend mentioned that too at the end. She was like, "Why are they even promoting that?" She was like, and I was like, "Babe, it's nothing. They're just promoting it." And then I get a Wingstop promotion for the 6-woman tag. I'm like, "Babe, look, it's Wingstop," and she's like, "See, I told you." I'm like, "That's so messed up, bro."
That's the new commercial. Watch the Wingstop commercial. That tells you everything you need to know.
Coming in.
It is. But
it still was kind of like you couldn't have switched them just to make it so obvious. But
trust me, I'm just like, you weren't the only one that thought that, Josh. Let me just say that because it came to my girlfriend's mind too when she saw that.
Good, great minds think alike. No, I mean it was a great match. It really was really good. But again, the finish just to me it was such a bizarre move because really it kind of reinforces the idea that Rey Mysterio is kind of a dick because he chooses different partners. He has random football people be kind of the backup, and he's got his faction there. That's what I don't understand. Like, why do you even need them? You have the LWO in the background and Carlito. So you've got let's see, another person lead because you got Carlito and the two the other two on top of it. So to me, you have an extra person. Carlito could have easily interfered instead of having those two guys. So it took the wind out of the sails for me of that match completely.
Yeah, because remember that spot where Carlito was standing off to the side, and I forgot who was there. I think it was Rey Mysterio that was kind of like, and he looks at him. I thought he was gonna do it right there.
Same. I thought he was gonna do that, or when they were gonna launch Joaquin, I thought, okay, he's gonna punch Joaquin or something. And I don't know. It feels like the story could have been continued, but they decided, well, we'll put the Philadelphia Eagle guys here. Just to me,
it's probably. I'm telling you, it's probably because they're probably saving it. I'm assuming for when they do faction versus faction.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right in that regard. It's like we could go all the way with this, but now we're gonna hold back a little bit on this story. So I think you're right.
Yeah, overall okay match though. Wasn't ending was the worst part.
I will say this. Let me just throw one more thing in here. Because you guys talked a little bit about the idea that Dom needs to one up his dad, and you guys thought he was going to get it here. I think his one up is really going to come next year if they do a father versus son as part of some level of, or just whenever his retirement matches. I personally think it should be Dominic that does it, but we'll see what happens. But I do think third time's a charm for Dom if he does get another one-on-one match with his dad.
Mask versus hair, because why not? That's a stereotypical. I mean, unless I'm wrong, it seems like that's a popular gimmick match in Mexico, I believe, from what I've understood in Lucha Libre. Unless I'm wrong, Buffalo. You may be.
You know what the sad part is? I don't even watch Lucha Libre.
Oh.
That's all right.
Well, you got enough in WWE right now. You've got only 20 different. Again, I love the representation. That is really cool, though. That is so cool that they have that now because WWE didn't have that before.
Yes. So next we get Jey Uso. We get brother versus brother, Jimmy versus Jay. History was on Jimmy's side. It was on Jimmy's side. And I have to say, I really dug the video package they showed about them. That was really great. WWE produces probably the best video packages of all time. But I felt like this match felt a little flat. I feel like it felt flat. I feel like there was no intensity in this match. There was like no heat. I mean, Jimmy did mock Jay when he was trying to do the yeet thing and stuff, and you had Jimmy like apologize to try to lure Jay in, but there really was no heat to it. I mean, I'm glad Jey Uso won. I was hoping Jey Uso would win here, but this match was just missing that extra oomph. What do you think of this, Josh?
Do you know what went through my mind? And you'll probably pop for this. The whole entire time when they were fighting each other, it was like Be Elite Super Kick Party because they did super kicks over and over. I was like, Jesus, just do something different. I mean, to me, I didn't like this match at all. It was probably the worst brother versus brother match I've ever seen. That's including Taker and Kane's Inferno match. I mean, look, I understand Jay didn't want to fight his brother. But after he screwed you so many times, you got to at least punch him in the face. When he's like, super kick me. I'm like, come on, man. I don't know. This was probably the worst match of the night for me. I hated it. Absolutely hated it.
Yeah, it might be up there for me too. It's between this and another match I didn't really care for, but this one I think I agree with you, Dotsa. It definitely lacked the energy, and I think for me, where the energy gets zapped though is really where Josh starts talking about the super kick party. You know, because I think the idea of the back and forth, and it's literally the only move that they did through like half of this match. And at some point, it's just like, okay, we get it, we get it. And I just really wanted to see something else more emotional instead of just the I know we're twin brothers, right? We're going back and forth, we're nearly the same, unstoppable, you know, like but eventually it's just like you got to do something more to draw me in. And yeah, I think the crowd came a little bit more alive when Jimmy's trying to tell him like, no, you know, like I'm done, you know, I'm sorry, and everybody's telling him, no, don't listen to him, don't listen to him. Like, why would you listen to him right now? But so I get the idea of like drawing off of the brotherly emotion here, but that's probably the only the only aspect of this match that actually drew me in. Other than that, yeah, it maybe was the placement of the match too. After the weird luchador interference, you know, maybe that kind of tripped the crowd's emotions up too. But just from a match point of view, it was pretty lackluster. The hottest thing for this match was the package, was the intro package for sure.
It just sucked. It was not a brother versus brother match at all. I didn't feel any hate towards it. I mean, I don't know. To me, they cut Jimmy's legs out from under him pretty much tonight. At least for me.
I don't. Do you think it'll hurt? You think it'll hurt Jay? Wait, he said that was. You think it was going to hurt Jay? Josh, is that what you said?
No, Jimmy. I think.
Oh, Jimmy. Oh, okay.
Really hurt Jimmy. It's like, okay, well, you can't even. It'd be different if there was actually some sort of battle, and I felt like there was a battle, but it was literally like, oh, super kick me, you super kick me, and Jay didn't fall for the, you know. Well, I say he fell for the, you know, sneakiness of it. To me, he should have won at that point. That should have been I thought you really, and then you could go back and feud in a cage or something. But to me, it made Jimmy look awful. It's terrible.
Yeah, I feel you. What do you think, Tatsu? Any other thoughts on it?
I'm really surprised Solo Sikoa didn't get involved in this. And like Ram Jam said, Rikishi should have been the referee for this. Where the hell has Rikishi been in this entire storyline?
I think he did make a comment that he didn't like the idea of them fighting, and it was just going to cause more division in the family. But I wish Rikishi had gotten like an interview, like on the kickoff show or something, unless he did and I missed it. But you know, popped up on Raw or SmackDown somewhere to talk about it, just to make it more family involved. I think that would have been a lot more impactful too. But I agree that the intro package, especially towards the end when they're like, I'm not my brother's keeper, I was like, oh, you know. So I really wish that they dove more into it in the match itself. You know, I wouldn't have minded some interference or some more emotional moments here, but the super kick party drained me. It really did.
Hell, have Jimmy super kick Rikishi when he's like, stop, and you kicked my dad. Then you have reason for Jay to lose his shit, basically, and, you know, beat him up. That makes total sense to me. Even at the match, they could have done that. So
super kick party on the streets. All right. Next, we get Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, and Naomi versus Damage Control in the form of Dakota Kai and the Kabuki Warriors. I have to say, both factions had an incredible entrance. Really loved the entrance of Damage Control. Really loved the entrance of Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, and Naomi. I thought they had some pretty sick entrances. I have to say, I'm happy that Jade Cargill, Naomi, Bianca Belair won. They needed this win. But I felt like, and this is no disrespect to Jade, I felt like Naomi and Bianca did most of the work, and Jade just kind of came in towards the end. Don't get me wrong, like Jade looked incredible. She looked like a star with the very little she was given, but I kind of wanted to see more from her. But I understand probably why Diddy didn't allow her to do more. But in that little bit that she did, she looked like an absolute star. I think she knocked it out of that park in the very little that she did towards the end. But what did you guys think of this match, Adam?
I definitely like Damage Control's entrance. I didn't really care so much for the other team's entrance, though. The idea of them coming down on the, you know, from the heavens or on that pedestal that they were on, and everybody got like a quick 10-second like introduction. I know that they're not an official team like Damage Control is, but sometimes I wish they work those entrances together a little bit more seamlessly than what they do. So, but I would agree with you in regards to Jade. Jade still looks like, I know she's been at the training center, the performance center and stuff. So there was some, look, she's on WrestleMania. This is the biggest stage of her career that she's ever been on. So, there are some things, I don't want to say sloppy, but it still feels like she's still getting the hang of things. And I guess when you are in the match that involves 6 people, like learning where your spots come in and remember where everybody's at, and I'm sure it probably throws you off a little bit. But she still looks impressive as hell to me. She still looks powerful as hell, man. And so, I did have fun with this match. The Bianca hair whip to Asuka, like
my heart.
God, like I'm waiting for like a huge split of her skin or something, just to come. But this was a fun match for me. I had a good time seeing these ladies go at each other. Honestly, it was fun.
What about you, Josh? What did you think of this match?
Damage Control's entrance, perfect. Loved it. Dakota Kai seemed like she was out of place because, again, that's just not the culture, right? I get it, but I still love the entrance. So cool. Such a very unique entrance, and having this Japanese cherry blossoms kind of come virtually down was such a cool entrance. Jade and them's entrance, again, I didn't understand it. I mean, again, unless they're just coming down from their pedestal that they have Jade on right now. Again, I like Jade. Don't get me wrong. I think she's got potential. I think she definitely has the $1 million look, but the whole entire time with that ending sequence, I was wanting to go Jade Berg, just because it was so, I don't know. I never felt she was in peril.
Dominant. That's what the word you're looking for. She was so dominant. She's incredible, man. That's why I say when we did predictions for this, I'm just like, they're just going to destroy them. Like they're just so, they're so strong. Like, and I love to absolutely get an opportunity to see it. Didn't Bianca have like a spot where she pressed somebody and then like dumped them on top? I can't remember. Where was some good spots? Did you take anything these down, Datila?
The moonsault.
The moonsault, yeah, that Bianca did.
Yes. Yeah.
Or the double team, the Kabuki Warriors did to poor Naomi.
Yeah, poor Naomi.
I will say, I would have complained if Jade Cargill, Naomi, Bianca didn't win this.
I would have too.
I would have complained.
I would have too.
I mean, I know our prediction was for them. I mean, I get why they win. Just to me, I don't know. I just felt like at any time, I never felt that Bianca and that crew was ever in any danger of losing. At least make me suspend disbelief and think, okay, surely one of them is going to maybe catch them. And I never felt that. Once we had Kairi Sane get the poison mist from Asuka accidentally, I was like, okay. I mean, again, I get it. I don't know. I just, for whatever reason, I liked their interaction, but I felt that it was almost too one-sided and too obvious in a way.
And they're going to go after the tag titles because,
But yes,
I think the tag team. I personally, I would rather see Jade and Bianca as a tag team than Naomi and Bianca. But I would understand if they make Naomi and Bianca the tag team.
I just hate how Jade makes it to. I get it that she's new. I still just hate how it almost devalues Bianca to me, and poor Naomi. God help her. I spell her name and it's never WIN. I mean, because look, if it wasn't for Jade, I don't think they would have won the match.
You might be right in that regards, because I could easily have seen Naomi taking this pin. For me, when I think of the tag team, though, I think Bianca and Jade. I think that's probably the route that I would go. They would be another dominant force that would really probably boost the women's championship titles, quite frankly, in this. But unfortunately, that just leaves Naomi once again to third wheel, which is a little bit of a bummer after her TNA run.
That damn Wingstop promotion the whole entire time. I hate it so much.
I had pizza. I had a Domino's pizza.
Yeah, we actually grabbed Papa John's.
Oh yeah,
and I had a beer brought to you by Modelo.
I had water sponsored by Kirkland.
I mean, we're not getting paid. Well, we should. Listen, Modelo, Dos Equis, please reach out to us.
No, we'll sell ourselves. It's all right. It's okay.
Before we get into the final match, we had an attendance announcement of 72,543 people were in attendance for tonight's WrestleMania Night 1.
It looked huge. It looked like just like a wave of people in there. Like, I don't know how they had the arena set up, but it looked massive.
Like Wembley.
Yeah, there was a ton of people there. Shout out to them for coming through.
I bet tomorrow night we'll get an announcement for where WrestleMania 41 is going to be.
Minnesota, hopefully.
I'm voting for Las Vegas. I don't want to freeze.
Yeah, those poor people. I did feel bad for all of them having to go out there with nothing on in 40-degree weather.
Yeah, it was 52, but they said it felt like 42. I don't know what that feels like. I mean, for you guys, because I know for us, I'm freezing when it's like 50 here. Like I even have my sweater on because it's cold outside. And let me see, it's like 53 degrees right now.
I laughed when Michael Cole said, "I'm from Texas. I'm not used to this weather." And I was like, "Yeah, I totally get it, man. I'd probably be freezing out there too. You gotta wear some layers." I had one of my friends, Maurice, actually went out to night 1. I don't know if he's got tickets for night 2 or not, but he was saying he was packing the other night, and I was like, "Make sure you bundle up, man. Layer up, because I hear it's supposed to be pretty cold." But I guess I don't want to say. At least it wasn't like in the 30s, but still, feeling like you're in the 40s, that's probably no fun. I got to think, though, that all that activity in the ring, though, probably keeps them relatively warm, though.
For sure.
Yeah. All right. Last but certainly not least, we had
okay, cool. No, never mind. I thought you were going to do the main event. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We already talked about the main event.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. You throwing me off. I'm sorry.
So last but certainly not least, we had the Intercontinental Championship match: Sami Zayn versus Gunther. Gunther, longest reigning Intercontinental Champion. Sami Zayn, the underdog. I was really surprised Sami Zayn won this match, because I kind of thought they threw Sami in this match because, Gunther was going to retain. So if Sami Zayn won, why not give that spot to Chad Gable? It's like, it should have been Chad Gable. No disrespect to Sami. I like Sami Zayn, but I'm just a little confused. There was a story to be told with Chad Gable and Gunther, more so than Sami Zayn and Gunther here. The story that they were telling, Chad Gable beat Gunther in 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Gunther made Chad Gable's daughter cry, and then he laughed about it. That was your story. I don't understand why. I mean, I like Sami Zayn, and I was at WrestleMania last year when I saw him and Kevin Owens defeat the Usos and win the tag titles, and I was happy.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong. I get Sami Zayn didn't have a path to WrestleMania, but I feel like it should have been Chad Gable. This was Chad Gable's moment. I don't get why they put Sami. Maybe it's like Josh said, maybe you'll get an eventual heel turn by Chad Gable for this. But I can't be mad either, because I do like Sami Zayn, so happy for Sami. But I was just a little confused by this decision. Josh, I'll let you go first. What are your thoughts on this?
I feel like I'm so negative tonight, but I just hated it all. I really just didn't like. Well, the main event was pretty good. Look, a couple of things. One, to me, they're telling the story with Drew McIntyre saying, "Sami, you can't win the big one." Why not have that boy in the triple threat with Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre?
Right.
Because Drew's been beating the bejesus out of him for weeks, right? Why not have Chad Gable beat the crap? Whatever. Sami Zayn, to me, did not. Here's the thing. At the end, when Michael Cole said for the 4th time he's the Intercontinental Champion, I don't give a damn about him as the 4th time Intercontinental Champion. That means nothing to me. And to me, look, if they were going to book it, have Sami Zayn's wife, one, actually wear some damn mascara and wear some makeup, because what I wanted is, and I'll tell you why, there's a reason why, because I wanted it to be so bad that he got beat so bad that you pan to her and she's literally got this mascara running. What a moment right at WrestleMania. This just distraught wife, Sami basically, as I said in my predictions, please don't die. That's what I wanted. For Sami Zayn to win, to me, felt almost like, okay, well, what do you get? If Gunther doesn't go and beat the bejesus out of Cody Rhodes soon, being the new world champion, if he wins, to me, it was wasted. It was a wasted moment. So I was so bad. Only because, again, the package with Gunther, I don't know if you guys saw that package with the beginning. It was so amazing. Talking about their Intercontinental Champion, he was comparing himself, saying basically, the greatest Intercontinental Champion stops with me. And for him to lose the way he did, look, you had everybody go against Gunther. I mean, everybody. And Sami Zayn wins it. I don't know. Chad Gable's story needed to be told, and I don't know. I just hated it. Absolutely hated it. 666, I thought was pretty interesting. It was his 666th day. I thought, okay, cool, but I don't know. What's Sammy gonna do now? Be with Gable? Great. What's Gunther gonna do?
He'll Chad Gable, I guess.
Well, you
Sure.
know, he did say you owe me a favor, and that's very Apollo Creed and
Mhm.
Rocky, where he gets
Yep.
his match. And I have a feeling that that's exactly what that favor is going to be. Like if you win the title, that favors a IC title match. Because Chad Gable at this point probably just doesn't think he could beat Gunther. And he thinks that his easy way out is going to be Sammy. And I think that's where Gable probably turns heel. Maybe look, whether or not he wins the title from Sammy, who knows? But that's what it feels like they're certainly setting up for me. When Chad says, you know, you owe me a favor, I'm like, oh, this is definitely so very much a Rocky Balboa sort of moment here. And even Corey and Cole were kind of talking a little bit about it, also the influences of the Rocky Balboa story on this match and whatnot too. So look, I definitely feel divided in here. I personally thought it was a great match. I really had a good time with this. The brain buster on the turnbuckle, so sick, bro. Like the fact that Sammy was able to lift him up and even do that safely, like, oh my God, like that was just unbelievable. That's definitely nothing that Gunther's ever experienced in any of these matches that he's been in before.
No.
So, the 666 for me has it sort of all makes sense at the end of the day. Like to have a WrestleMania match on your 600, like that's just as bad luck as it gets, like things are just bad is going to happen. I'm sure they never planned it that way. I wonder if there's a part of me that wonders, like, if Gunther was always gonna win, and somebody said, "Hey, this is the 666th day, Gunther," and they're like, we're gonna change it. Yeah, Gunther, you're gonna lose here tonight. Like, I really wonder if that was a thing.
We're getting biblical though. Think about it. You've got three different things. You've got the Amazing Grace with Drew McIntyre. You've got the I'm Not My Brother's Keeper. And now you got the 666-day reign of terror of Gunther, and at 666 he loses. I mean, for whatever reason they are.
I mean, it's very, very, the imagery is there. You could definitely put some symbolism to it. The fall of Gunther on that day. So there's a part of me that it works. I was thinking to myself, like, has Sami Zayn ever faced Gunther one-on-one for the title before?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
No, he hasn't. This was
think so.
No.
Considering all the people that he's ran through, I was kind of surprised at the idea that this might have been their first time in the ring together. So it's not like he's beaten him before. So in that sense, I do think Sammy's got the advantage. And, Sammy's a tough cookie. Him and Kevin Owens have been through some wars, man. If there's anybody that can put up a fight and keep going, it's definitely Sammy. I just was not expecting it to be him. And I think there is a little bit of disappointment I had because I really wanted this to be Chad. But at the same time, I mean, the Ring General's reign is over. And I will agree with you, Josh, in the sense that, like, now that he doesn't have the IC title, he's got to go for some championship at this point, unless he's that determined to get the title back and they feud for another month or two.
There's two scenarios I can see with this. One, you have the match with Gable and Sami Zayn. Riders are getting into it. Gunther comes and beats the crap out of both of them. Then we get a triple threat at the next PLE, maybe. Or in the off chance, again, I want him versus Cody Rhodes just to chop the crap out of Cody Rhodes, right? Cody Rhodes. But yeah, Gunther to me now has, unless they have plans for him, which I think they do. If we didn't get him versus Brock Lesnar, I would have much rather have Gunther versus John Cena, beat John Cena clean, and at least give him kind of a boost. That's what I would have rather had tonight. Or Gable, but of course, if you want him to beat a name, I would have had him beat Cena. But he needs direction now, because now what do we do?
I do agree. Gunther either challenges for the world title or because what's he going to do now?
But I will say, I love that the fans were behind Sammy in this, based off of how some people were pretty upset at the idea that it wasn't Chad Gable at first, when he kicks out of that first power bomb, I think people started realizing like, oh, we've got something here. And then the double power bomb, I think is is when you really know, like, oh my god, something special might honestly happen here. And I thought the buildup was really great to the finish. Like, it's one of those things where, first off, Gunther's chest was just hamburger meat too. Sammy really put up one hell of a fight. I feel like he dished out just as much punishment as he certainly took in here for sure. But the great just be kicking out of almost everything that that Gunther was able to do, and to see the shock and awe. It was, I don't know, I like the emotional buildup for Sammy getting this win though.
Yeah, so curious to see what happens next. But with that being said, that concludes the review. So what did you guys think of this show on a scale from a 1 to a Sean Spears perfect 10? I personally thought it was a 6.5 because I felt like there was so much hype surrounding this pay-per-view, like this event, that I just felt like it didn't meet up expectations. It started off strong with Becky versus Rhea, but I was not a huge fan of the finish of Rey Mysterio and Andrade versus Dominic Mysterio and Santos Escobar. Jimmy and Jay felt flat. And in the main event, it was really slow and it took way too long. It went longer than it should have.
I'm gonna go a 7 here. Because I liked more of the matches than not. Really enjoyed the women's championship match. I thought the tag team match was incredible. Again, despite the fact that it wasn't Chad Gable, I honestly was a really big fan of the IC title match, and the Bloodline and Seth Rollins and Cody was a really fun match, I thought, with some great sort of spots in between to get people out of their seats. But I think the other matches just fell flat so hard for me, like the Jimmy stuff, the Rey Mysterio stuff, even the Bianca, the Black Girls Magic match was okay with some cool spots, but the other matches, like, they weren't just good, like they just fell flat for me. So there were definitely some lulls in this pay-per-view that I think it couldn't come back for, but I still enjoyed it for what it was. So a 7. I'm not crazy about it, but a 7.
What about you, Josh?
I'll give it a 7 only because of the R-Truth spot. I mean, having him win and the fact the man's a national treasure, make that damn man. You know what? I would give him the freaking title. Give him an IC title versus Gunther. That, because I mean, I've heard on house shows that they had him interact with Gunther and he would, chase Gunther off. I would have loved to see that. But overall, the show was fine. Again, a 7 because, to me, you should never have to come out and say it's a new era. If you look at the Attitude Era, nobody said it was an era. It just happened, right? Naturally. Same with the Ruthless Aggression Era. It just happened. To say something's a new era, yes, that's something that may be true, but it didn't feel like it. I don't feel that it's a new era yet. I feel like, maybe we had matches that maybe we weren't going to see, but I don't know. To me, if you were going to end the night, it should have been Sami Zayn winning the title at that point, because that's the emotional one you want. Having Cody be sad, I get it, but 7 overall. I was not moved.
Yeah, understandable. All right, in terms of predictions, I don't know if you guys saw our predictions. We did have predictions.
Mm-hmm.
For night 1, it's actually a tie between me and Adam Perez, baby.
Nice. Okay. I like it.
We both got 22 points, and poor Josh only got 7.
That's okay. I'll take the pin. I will be Naomi here.
Have we got the same matches correct too?
Yeah. The only ones we got wrong were Gunther, and you picked for your second team, you chose New Catch Republic, and I chose DIY.
Okay, gotcha. Man, oh wow. Okay, so same record and same points. Oh man. So it's really gonna come down to night 2. And who knows, Josh? What's Josh got?
Josh got, he only got awesome. He got the tag team match, Awesome Truth and A-Town Down Under in the Bloodline.
Yep.
Wow, 2 out of 6, 2 out of 7 matches, Josh.
It's okay.
No.
I'll be the Naomi of the group. It's all right. I'll take the pin in this one. Why not? I was champion once, so that's okay. I'll take it.
Well, hey, it is a culmination of 2 nights, so we'll see. Maybe we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, definitely. But as we get ready to sign off, where can people find you, Josh?
Gamer Peroski on Twitter. That's it for now. And then, of course, I'm going to start doing NXT reviews on the WrestleManiacs podcast under the A Plus Hero banner. So definitely excited for that.
What about you, Adam?
At A Plus Opinions everywhere. Facebook is our main page. Also over on YouTube at A Plus Hero Report. You can find us also on Twitter, Instagram. We're on TikTok at Hero Report. Also, like, subscribe, and share these videos, y'all. Let everybody know about WrestleManiacs podcast if you're a big wrestling fan.
Yeah. As for myself, you can find me on Twitter at @Titilla_. Talk all things wrestling, WWE, AEW, and TNA. On every Thursday, I'm live over on Body Slam. Josh and I do apologize for not doing the NXT Standing Delivery review today. Something came up last minute, so I was unable to watch it. But Josh and I are going to be doing the NXT review tomorrow before WrestleMania Night 2. We're going to then afterwards. I don't know if Adam will be joining us, but we're going to be doing the review for WrestleMania Night 2. Keep in mind, we're still going to do Raw after Mania, SmackDown after Mania, and then exclusively here on A Plus Hero Report, we're going to be doing NXT after Stand and Deliver. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever we go live or release new content. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for WrestleMania Night 2. Bye.
See ya.